Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mir Zahir Abbas. I am the Operations Manager of SciSec. Welcome to today's webinar. The regular ground rules, all the attendees to the webinar will be mute on by default. We will have a Q&A at the end of the presentation. You can type your question on the chat window and it will be responded after the completion of the presentation. This webinar is part of weekly series titled Samgajadva. May we all progress together. The objective is to cover different topics of security over the course of this series. We want to provide a conceptual overview in this webinars to the various aspects of security, and we hope this will kindle your interest to explore further. This is 43rd webinar in this series. This was a two-part webinar on the topic how the internet works under the hood. The first part was on 25th of August. The recording of this webinar is available on SciSec YouTube channel. Today, the second part of the webinar will cover how to install and capture packets in the Wireshark. That will be lab. How to analyze the capture packets. It's also lab. We'll be updating about the webinar for the month of September. I hope you will find this series of webinars useful. Do let us know if you have any feedback as well as any ideas to share with us. We are also going to record this webinar and the recording will be uploaded on SciSec YouTube channel. So you can always refer back to the video later if necessary. Please subscribe to our SciSec YouTube channel. As usual, we will have an assessment made available at the end of this webinar on the webinar registration page. Those who successfully complete the webinar will be provided a certificate tomorrow. The assessment will be kept open at the end of the webinar for 60 minutes. The questions are from the topic covered during the webinar for the part 1 and part 2. So you should not have much difficulty in cracking this assessment. Those who score 10 or more correct answer out of 15 will be provided the certificate of achievement and others will get the certificate of participation. Also request you to please provide your valuable feedback. At the end of the webinar, we will be sharing the feedback link in the chat window. Here on the webinar registration page, you can see that there is a register share button and assessment. Assessment button will be active at 6:30 p.m. once the webinar is completed. Here you have to go click on the assessment and take your assessment, please. Let me now introduce to the speaker for today's webinar. It is great to have Ms. Sumita Narshetty with us today. Sumita is a security researcher at QoS Technology. She has done masters in cyber forensic and information security, and she is CHFI certified, Splunk certified. She has nearly 4+ years of experience in network security as a security researcher. She is a core team member of Purple Synapse, expert in network forensic tools like Wireshark. Core competency is Wireshark tool, forensic tools like FTK and Autopsy, Splunk deployment. Now I will hand over to Ms. Sumita to take you through the next part of the webinar. Over to you, Sumita.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Abbas. So can you stop sharing your screen so that, yeah.
Hi, Sumita.
Yeah. Hi, Abbas. Abbas, okay, let me share my screen, okay? Yeah, is my screen visible? Am I audible, loud and clear?
This is clear.
Yeah. So hello everyone. Okay. So we'll have a interactive session. I want everyone to just send a chat message, like at least a hi or a hello message if you are happy attending this webinar. Can I get a hi, hello message? So I can see Sahadevan, Adarsh, Samarth, Atrika, Pramod, Sadhana, Madhura, Arun Kumar, yes, Ramesh, Yedukrishnan, Kavya, Hemant, Namita, Akshay, Darshit, and Karthik has sent a message. So very great to hear from all of you guys. So we'll have a interesting session for today, and I can see few of the participants are from last batch also. I do remember few names from the participant list. So thanks for joining the session. So we'll start now. Okay. So I'll be okay. Let me cover a few the agendas. Like, so in the last class, what we have covered is we have covered the basic concepts, basic networking concepts. We have covered what is OSI model, what are different layers, why OSI model is important, and we even covered TCP/IP model, how it's been like extracted from the OSI model, why we have to capture the packets, where we have to capture the packets, how to capture the packets, what are the different tools using which we can capture the packets, and we had an introduction to Wireshark tool. This is world's most well-known forensic tool or a network analyzer tool, which will help us to do network analysis. So we had an introduction to Wireshark. We saw how to install, not install, installation of Wireshark. Installation is just a basic steps like next, and submit. So installation is not was not covered, but we have seen how the link from where we can download the Wireshark tool, and how it works, what's the start interface and the main interface, how to capture the packets, and we even covered a little more advanced topic, like we have covered how to put a display, how to capture the packets, how to save the packets, how to create a configuration profile, how to put a display filter, how to create a colorized rule or change the colorized rule and all that. So in today's topic, we'll be covering like how to run a Wireshark tool from the command line. We'll see few well-known command line tools called Tshark, EditCap, Tshark, EditCap, and CapInfos. So, and we'll be seeing how to add the GeoIP database in Wireshark to get the GeoIP location of the IPs, and how to merge 2 or 3 different PCAP files. We'll see how to resolve the names. We'll see how to analyze few protocols, for example, HTTP protocol, or with respect to HTTP protocol also, how to extract, how to find the credentials like a username and password when we submit on the web page. How can you see those credentials on in the Wireshark? We can see how to extract the files. For example, when you're going and visiting any websites, so how can you extract the now this is with respect to the HTTP protocol. Okay, with respect to HTTP protocol, when you access a website which has an image, or which has a PDF, or which has a exe file, how to extract those files with the help of the headers, we'll see. And at the last, we'll see how to decrypt SSL packets. So this agenda for today's class. So I hope you guys are fine with the agenda. So last time, like we didn't cover much of what do you call practical stuffs, but this in this class we'll be covering most of the practical stuffs. Okay, so we are. I guess we are good to start. Can I just get a thumbs up or a yes message from all of you? Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. So I can see Madhura, Ramesh, Arun, Akshay, Sahadevan, Darshita, Namita, Adrika, Karthik, Adarsh, Samarth. So all of you have responded, and I can see that you guys are like pretty, what do you call, uh, like actively participating. Very good to see the participants so like enthusiastic or like be active in the webinar also. So okay, so we'll start with the first topic, which is like how to use Wireshark with with using command prompt. Okay, so let me just minimize my presentation and open command prompt. Sorry, open command prompt. So okay, uh, so one thing with respect to Wireshark is when you want to execute Wireshark commands from anywhere in the location, in anywhere in the command prompt. So what you have to do is we have to set Wireshark variable as an path as an environmental variable. So what you have to do is you have to see in which location the Wireshark is installed. So you can see Wireshark is installed in C program files, and here all my exes are there. So can you see here? Cap infos, edit cap.
Screen is not visible.
Sorry, Abbas?
Screen is gray. The PPT is not visible now.
Oh, is it? Okay, let me stop sharing and share once again, okay?
Right.
So now is it?
It's come.
Yeah, okay. So okay, so when you want to like execute this command line tools, or when you want to execute Wireshark with the help of command line, so what you have to first do is we have to first set this path as an environmental variable. So that like we can use all this command line tool like cap infos, edit cap, or like what you call T-Shark or Wireshark exe from the command prompt. So how to do that is go to your environmental variable, and under path section, you just have to give this link, give this path, this Wireshark, wherever our installed Wireshark path is there, right? So we have to give that path, and then like just double click, paste, and then click on OK. So I already have, so I'm just skipping this part. So this is how you set an environmental variable so that like we can use all this command line tool from any part of the like all these tools from any part of the command line command prompt. So now, okay, I do have one folder called SkySec. Okay, so here I want to keep all my what do you call files, all my Wireshark files or T-Shark files or EditCap files. I want to save it in this particular folder. So how to navigate to this folder is go to D drive, and then I have created a folder called SkySec. Okay, SkySec. So enter. So I'm in this path. So I'll be able to execute all the Wireshark command line tools or command line to topmost command line tools being here in this particular folder. Okay, so how to open Wireshark tool from command line is you have to write wireshark.exe and then click on enter. So Wireshark GUI will open and you'll be able to, what do you call? Oh, sorry. You'll be able to select the interface and then start the packet capture. Now, so what was happening is I was just writing wireshark.exe and then clicking on enter. Okay, so what used to happen is just Wireshark GUI is to open and then I had to select the particular interface to start the capture. So I don't want this window to appear. I just want one command command which will open my Wireshark and start my capture on Wi-Fi interface. So for that, what I have to do is wireshark.exe -i means interface. You can see Wi-Fi is in 1, 2, 3, fourth interface, fourth index number. So write -i 4 space and then give -k. So if you can see, like, I'll just close this Wireshark window. Okay. So if I just write Wireshark -i4. So what will happen is Wireshark window will open. It will highlight Wi-Fi interface, but it will not start capture on Wi-Fi interface. So what we have to do is wireshark.exe -i-k. So -k is for immediate capture. So now I'll press -k. So it will open Wireshark GUI. It will start the capture on Wi-Fi interface. Can you see? Wi-Fi interface. So just to stop this and click on close. Okay. So now in this itself, we can give number of what do you call the flags. For example, if you want to save the file, -w and give a file name, my second capture.pcapng. Okay, so pcapng is an extension. Last time itself I've told you. So enter. So you can see it'll start the capture on Wi-Fi interface. And when I stop the packet capture, you can see the file name. Can you see here? My second capture.pcapng. And it will be saved in this path itself, the cycle. You can see this is cycle. This is the packet file which we have captured just now. Okay, so now if you want to capture the packets and stop the capture after 10 packets, so then what you can do is -c, give 10, it is count. So -i interface name, interface number, immediate capture, -c for count, -w for saving the file, and give a file name. Enter. So this will start the Wireshark capture and stop the capture after 10 packets. You see here, it has captured only 10 packets and stopped the capture and saved the file name also. And it has replaced the same file because the file name was same. You can see. No? Okay. So now comes a T-Shark. T-Shark is again, T-Shark is a command line tool. So Wireshark was a GUI, like you used to see the GUI when it was capturing the packets. Now T-Shark is a command line tool. So how to capture the packets using command line tool is T-Shark -D. Capital D will help us to list the interface. Can you see here? So we got 5 interface. So whatever was there on Wireshark, so same interface itself we'll be able to display using -D command. So -D. So we got 5 interfaces, and the one which we are using now is a Wi-Fi interface. So on this interface, we want to capture the packets because we are using the internet using this particular adapter. So now T-Shark. T-Shark is a little similar to what you call Warshark, whatever the commands we have executed, except this -K, because it was a GUI interface, so we gave immediate capture. So here in command, this is already a command prompt tool, so we don't have to give a immediate capture over here. So -I and then give 4. So it will capture the packets in the command prompt itself. So capturing the packets in the command prompt, can you see? The packets are being captured. Control C to stop the capture. So we have captured 927 packets. So now, whatever packets we have captured, let us save those packets. Already captured packets will not be able to save, but a live packets will be able to save it in a different file. -W, give a file name. My first T-Shark file .pcapng. Enter. So can you see the file got created and the packets are captured. So to stop the capture, it is again Control C. It will stop the capture. You can see 1312 packets are captured. So let me just go to this file and open 1312 packets. So 1312 packets are captured. So this is how you'll be able to capture the packets using T-Shark. So it is same. All the other commands, like for example, -C, like 15 packets will capture and stop the capture after 15 packets. So you can see its same file will be updated. So I've not given us a different file. So you can see only 15 packets have captured. It will stop the capture immediately after capturing 15 packets. So this is how you use T-Shark command line tool. Now comes, for example, we do have a bigger capture. For example, we have a capture file. So let me capture the packets in a bigger size. Okay. So on my Wi-Fi interface, I have like, so I'm trying to access few websites. So I've captured few packets. Okay. So let me stop the capture. Okay. So if I want to split this file, for example, in this pcap file, I got 9,409 packets. Okay. So I want to split the file among multiple chunk of files. Like for example, 1,000 packets in each file. So the total file, how many files will be created? If I want to split this file into 1,000 packets in each file, so how many files will be created? Can I get a chat message? How many files can be created when I want to split this file? For example, this file got 9,409 packets. Okay. Now I want to create a file, a different file, set of files for 9,409 packets. I want to create files which has one file should have 1,000 packets. So how many files will be created overall when I split this file? 9 or 10? Can I get a chat message? So, okay, I can see that Nitin is telling 9 files, Adarsh is telling 10, Sahadevan is telling 10, Sahadevan, Akshay, Adrika, Nitin. Nitin is again telling 9. Pramod is telling 10. Pratik is telling 10. Madhura is telling again 10. So Sahadevan is telling 10. And Sahadevan is telling, Sahadevan is telling 10.9 full file and one last practical one will have. Okay. So yeah. So people who have answered it as 10 is correct, because 9 file will be having 1000 packets and the 10th file will have 409 packets. So nice, good answers I got, good reply or a response I got. So okay, so now let us split this file. Okay, so using edit cap we can split the files. Okay, so edit cap hyphen f pcap ng hyphen c for count, and then we have to give how many packets we want to keep in each file. So I've told like 1000 packets will keep in each file. Rest all packets like below 1000 will come and reside in the very last file. So 1000, and then give a file name, and then what we have to do is we have to give a splitted file name. Split file 1000. Okay, .pcapng. Okay, so this is a command for editing the packets. For example, this file, what we are trying to do is we are trying to split it into 10 files, 10 different files, which has 1000 packets in each file. And the last file will have a rest of the packets, which is 409. Then click on enter. So at the back end, can you see here? Files got created. So how many files got created? I'm just selecting everything. You can see 10 items. So 10 files got created. So each file will be having 1000 packets. Thousand again. So I'm just showing random few files which has 1000 packets. Last second, 1000 packets. Now we'll go to the last packet. Double click. 409 packets should be there. So can you see here? 409 packets. So we got this correct. Yeah. So we have successfully splitted this file into 10 different 10 different files, which has each file has 1000 packets and the last file had 409 packets. So okay. So now when we are, for example, this was a very small file which had only 9,409 packets. But in case we had a bigger file, for example, a GBs of file, like 1 GB, 2 GB file, 2 GB of PCAP file, and when you open that file on the in the Wireshark, so there might be a chance your Wireshark may get hang, or it may slow down your system. So, and you don't there was this like zero possibility that you can see how many packets are there in that PCAP file. So this one tool called Cap Infos, which will help you to give you the description about the PCAP file. For example, just write Cap Infos and give a file name. So this will tell you how many, like within a, I guess like it's a small file, so it took a nanosecond to display. But if it is a huge file, so it may take a little while, but it'll 2 or 3 seconds more to display the content of the, what do you call, the PCAP file. So you can see number of packets, a file size, data size, capture duration, what is the first packet, at what time the first packet was captured, a last packet was captured. All these are the different fields or the metadata of information which will be given by this tool. Cap Infos, and just give a file name. That's it. it will give you the description about the file name. That's it. So these are the major tool or the additional tool which comes with Wireshark, which will help us to capture the packets using command line tool, which will help us to split the packets, which will help us to get the metadata of the file and all these things. So I hope the command prompt tools are clear for you guys. Can I just get a thumbs up message or a yes message? Sahadevan, Nitin, Darshit, Adarsh, Adrika, Akshay, Yadakrishnan, Arun Kumar, and who else? Any doubts? Any doubts? No doubts? So far, so good?
ಹಲೋ
Yeah.
ಚಿತ್ರಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
So okay, sorry, somebody has unmuted themselves.
ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Abbas?
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಂಬರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Okay, so sorry for the disturbance. Okay, okay, so at least Lil Madhura also has replied. Satyendra also replied. Aman, Arun Kumar has, and okay, so I hope no doubt so far. So let's go to the next topic, which is geo IP location. So okay, let me ask, who all are doing lab parallelly? So who all are doing the lab parallelly with me, or you're just noticing things and later you'll be doing? So can I just get a message that you're doing lab right now or like later also? Adarsh is telling he'll be doing it later. Then who else? Okay, Adrika is telling she'll be doing will be doing now. Sahadevan is telling later. Ramesh also is telling later. Karthik also will be doing it later, and Akshay also same. Sadhana also is telling will be doing it later. Okay, so okay, I'll be what do you call? I'll be just sharing one link with you guys, which has the geo database. Okay, so I want you guys to save this link so that you can use it when you're doing the lab. Okay, so sending it over a chat. So you can just save this link, which it will help you to download the geo IP location, geo database. Okay, so I hope the link is so you're able to open this link and you'll be able to download the geo database. Okay, so people who are who wants to do this lab with the help of this geo database have to install Wireshark 2.2.7 version, or okay, so that's a limitation with respect to this geo IP. So let me start sharing my screen. Okay, so now go to Wireshark, and I have those geo database in my D drive. Okay, can you see here? Geo. So okay, so okay, let it be the same file. In this folder, I have all the database present. Okay, so now you can just go to help. Help, click on about Wireshark. You'll be able to see this geo IP. Okay, so now start the Wireshark capture. So first of all, let me remove the database. Okay, so I've already added the database in the Wireshark. That's why you have like, well, it's not like a normal Wireshark tool. So I'm just capturing the packets and accessing few web pages. You see. Few different websites I'm just trying to visit so that I get the packets. Okay. So, okay, I visited a few of the websites. I'm gonna stop the capture. And now, if I want to see how many different websites I have visited and what are its geo IP location where the server is situated, what I can do is go to statistics, endpoints. So under IPv4, you can see only latitude and longitude data is there, but it is all empty. So no data is there, or no country or city location is given also. So now let me add this geo database, which I have just downloaded it from the link, or I already have it in my folder, so I'll not be downloading it separately. Okay, so link I have already sent to you guys. So this is a link, so you can just download these files. Okay, so now all these files is already downloaded and kept it in one folder. Okay, so these files I'll be adding it in Wireshark. So how to add that is, go to edit, preferences, go to under name resolution, you have something called geo IP database directories. So click on edit and then you have to click on plus. You can now select the folder which has a database. So select folder and then you have to click on OK. That's it. So earlier when I was going to statistics and endpoints, so I was able to see only latitude and longitude data, but it was all empty. So now I've added the geo database in Wireshark. So let me go to the same thing. Go to statistics and endpoints. So I'll be able to see the country, AS number, city, latitude, and longitude data also. Can you see where all these websites were hosted? Pretty simple, right? So just add the geo database in Wireshark. You'll be able to see the IPs and it will belong to which country or which city also. You can see here one web page which I have accessed is hosted in India, Mumbai location, Cambridge, United States, San Francisco, United States. So this is how you'll be able to see the geolocation of the IP addresses. Have you saved the file? So this link you don't have, don't lose it. Okay, just copy this link and paste it somewhere, or go to this link and download the files right now. Okay, so that you'll not be having trouble when you're doing the lab later on. Okay, so okay, I can see only Karthik has sent a message, yes message. So what about others? You have saved the link. So, or you have downloaded the files. So, okay, Sadhana, Chinmaya, Madhura, Sahadevan, Akshay are telling like they have saved the link, or like they have downloaded the file also. So great. Arun Kumar is telling he has saved the link. Darshit is telling download it. So great. Great to hear from you guys. Sahadevan also is telling, so so he downloaded. And Aditya is telling he has saved the link. So great. So you can just save the link or you can download the files. That's not a problem at all. Okay. So now let us go to the next topic. So I hope this topic is clear. Like it's a simple way. You have to go to edit, preferences, name resolution under geo IP database directories. Click on edit, click on plus mark and select the folder which has a geodatabase. So in this folder, I saved all the geodatabase files and then clicking on select folder and then click on OK. That's it. So this is how the geodatabase will be saved in Wireshark. So whatever files you have downloaded, right, just create one folder called geodatabase and then dump all the downloaded files in that folder and go to edit, preferences, name resolution, and add the file folder over here. But okay, one thing is like you just have to go and select the folder. Okay, for example, go to this folder and then just select this folder. Again, don't get into this folder. It will show as empty. So you just have to select the folder which has the database files. You just have to select the folder and click on select folder. That's it. Okay. So now we'll see the next topic, which is how to merge 2 or 3 different PCAP files. For example, now we have seen how to split the files. We have tried to split the files. Yeah. So now we'll see how to merge 2 or 3 different PCAP files. Now, let me start the new capture. Okay. So I'll open Wireshark. Oh, sorry. Open Wireshark and administrator mode and start the capture and stop the capture. Okay. So that I don't get a huge file. So I'm gonna save the file, save it in same folder, capture.pcapng, capture.capture. Sorry, I want to rename this file. Sorry. Let me rename the file. So I'm going to keep this file as capture1.pcapng and I'm going to create have another file. Just capture. Save. So new file will be created and the file name is capture2.pcapng. So these are the 2 files which I created just now. Capture1, which has 403 packets. Capture2, which has 148 packets. So okay, now let me explain you how this merging works. Okay. So okay, so normal paint. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna, so for example, this is one file. This is another file. So this is capture one file, capture two. So capture one file got how many packets? 403. Capture two file got 140 something, 148. Packets. So this file got 403 and this packet file got 148 packets. Now if I want to merge these 2 files in one single file, how I can do that is there are for example, with this file and this first option is called append option. Append option means whatever the first file we have opened, it will be as it is. Whatever the second file is there, it will come and reside at the bottom of the first file. Oh, sorry. Second file is there, right? Whatever the second file is there, it will come and reside at the bottom of the first file. So this option is called append option. Now, the second option is prepend. So in the prepend, what will happen is the first file, whatever we have selected, it will be as it is. And the second file which we want to merge will come and reside on the top of the page, top of the first packet. So this is called as prepend option. Now, the third option is chronological. So chronological will, what it will do is, so it will create one file with both the file, with which has both the file, which is cap1, cap2 file. So it will sort according to the time wise. So it sees the packets which are there in pcap1 or capture 1. It will go see the capture in the pcap2. So it will see the time when these packets were captured and when these packets were captured. It will see time wise and it will create one file which chronological. So this is chronological way. So time wise, it will merge the files, merge the packets. So now we got capture 1 and capture 2. Now let us merge using var_sharp. So now I've kept my file as it is. I've kept my capture 1, capture 2 as it is. I have opened another var_sharp window and I'll be selecting the first file, capture1.pcapng. It got 403 packets. Now I'll be merging the file merge. So I'll be using the first method called append option. So append option means what will happen? So second file will come and reside at the bottom of the first file. So second option, second file, append option. Then click on open. So can we do the totaling over here? 403 plus 148 equals to how many packets? Yeah, 551. Is this correct? Little poor in mathematics, but still I got it correct. Okay, so 551 packets. So I can see that Karthik has sent a message. Karthik and Pramod are sending a total number of packets what we'll get after merging. So total will get 551 packets after merging. So now let us cross check also. Yeah. So the first packet will be the first packet of capture 1. Got it? First packet will be the, so we can just see this file, payload specific feedback, ALF. So can you see here? This is a file which is merged. So let me save this, okay? So append.pcapng. So you can see first file, first packet of this append.pcapng is same as the first packet of the capture1.pcapng. Yeah, it's the same packet. Now let us go to the last packet of the capture 1. So capture 1 packet has 403. Let us go to that packet. So go to the packet 403. Yeah. So this packet should be the last packet of what of which pcap file? Can you just answer me? So this packet should be the last packet of capture 1 or capture 2. So Adrika is telling capture 1. Mother also is telling capture 1. Yeah, Adrika and Madhura, you're right. So this will be the last packet of capture 1 file. So let me just go and cross check. You can see the length is little unique, 1152, which has 1152. Let's go to the last packet. Let me see here. It's a last packet of the capture 1 file, 1152. Now, let us go to the what? 402, 403, right? 404. So this packet should be the first packet of which file? We are using merge append option. So the 404th packet should be the first packet of capture 2 file. Yeah. So Karthik, Pramod, Charita, Chinmay are telling cap 2. Okay. Now let me go to capture 2 and the first packet. Can you see here? Capture 2's first packet is the 404th packet. Can you see here? 86 length, 86. Now let us go to the last packet of this pcap file. And it should be the last packet of the capture 2 file. So it is, can you see which is what is unique? What is unique over here? It's nothing much unique, but the length is 1132. So let me just go to capture 2's, sorry, capture 2's last packet, sorry. Capture 2's last packet is 1132. So now we'll go to append last packet is 1132. So it is a same packet. Now I will, the append option is pretty clear for you guys, right? Can I just get a quick yes message? Is append option clear to you guys? Or if you have any doubt? Okay, I can see Karthik, Sadevan, Chinmay, Adrika, Darshit, Chaitra, Madhura, Pramod, Ramesh are telling yes. So great. Okay, so now let me go to the next option, which is prepend option. So go to open Wireshark window, another window. Selecting the first pcap file, which has 403 packets. Now let me select the second option, which is prepend option, and select the second pcap file. Enter. Again, it got 551 packets, but this is prepend option. Earlier, it was an append option. The first packet will be on top. First packet will be on top, capture 1, cap 1, cap 1, and this is cap 2. So this is append option. So now it is prepend option. Cap 2 will be on top. Cap 1 will be at the bottom. So now, so the first packet should be the first packet of capture 2. Yeah. Capture 2. So now, okay, let me save this file. Prepend. First packet should be the first packet of capture 2. Yeah, it's the same. 86 length, 86 length. And the second packet file had how many? 408 packets, right? Let me directly go to that packet. 408. It is right here. So the last, sorry. 148, right? 148, not 400. So that is 148. Go to packet number 148. Okay. So 148 packet should be the last packet of the capture 2. We go to the last packet. This is length is 1138. 1138. 32, sorry, 32, not 38. 32. And the next immediate packet should be the first packet of capture 1. So 86 length, payload specific feedback. Yeah. It is 6 length, payload specific feedback. Now let me go to this packets. Last packet should be the last packet of capture 1, 1152. 1152. Okay. So now we have completed append and prepend option. Now comes the chronological form. So when I was capturing this capture 1 and capture 2, so what I had done is I've captured the first packet and then I have saved the first capture and then I have captured the another file which is capture 2. So when I am trying to merge this capture 2 using chronological, so what should happen is it should come as if it is an append option because the first capture was taken and then saved, and then second capture was taken and then saved. So time wise means it should happen the same way, right? First capture will come on top and second capture will come on bottom of the first pcap file. So should be the first packet of the capture 1, capture of the capture 1, 403. This will be the last capture of last packet of capture 1. You can see here, it's the same packet, 1152. 1152. Yeah, this will be the first packet of capture 2 because we have captured time wise. So we have first saved the file and then capture the another file. Then last packet will be the same, 1132. 1132. Yeah. So this is how you'll be able to merge the files using 3 different options: append, prepend, and chronological. See. Okay. So I hope this merging concept is clear for you guys. This merging concept. Can I get a quick yes message? So Akshay, Sahadevan, Madhura, Pramod, Advika, Darshit, Chinmay, Sadhana, Karthik has sent a yes message. So I hope this is clear for you guys, and let's proceed with the next topic. So I'm not gonna save this one. Okay. So let me close this Wireshark window. So next topic is how to okay. I'm just starting the capture and I'll be accessing few web pages. IRCTC. Synapse web page. Okay. Paytm. So a few different website I have visited. LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. So few different website I have visited. So I got the capture also. Let me stop the capture. Okay. So now I got the capture here. So I want to resolve the name of the packets. Can I just see? Can you see like only the IP address are popping here? Yeah. So now if you want to resolve the names, for example, so you have a protocol here. So 443 protocol help us to do which conversation? HTTP or HTTPS? Can I get a quick message? 443 protocol port number will help us to do HTTPS. Pratik is telling HTTPS. Yeah. So 443 protocol port number will help us to communicate on HTTPS conversation. So if I don't remember which port, which and all, so go to view, name resolution, click on transport layer. So you'll be able to see port number, what port protocol it is using. Earlier there was no HTTPS, right? So when I go click on view, resolve name and transport, so I was able to see HTTPS here. Now, when I want to resolve the IP address, you can see only the IP address popping up here, right? So if you want to resolve the name of the IP address, I can just go view, click on name resolution, click on resolve name. So I'll be able to see the server details. So which server it might be saved or located, or what is the can you see here? I visited what do you call? Just hold on a second. So I visited YouTube, UNPC website. So some server is hosted on Akamai. So I'm able to see the Akamai server over here. WebEx, my WebEx is running right now. So I can see few WebEx details. Facebook, you can see here. And I just scroll down. I was able to see Facebook. I visited Facebook also. WebEx. Facebook again. FBCDN also is a Facebook server. LinkedIn also you can see in between. So this is how you'll be able to, what you call, resolve the name. For example, this is your own IP, 192.168.29.36, because you can go to command prompt and see ipconfig. So this is your own IP address, 192.168.29.36. So if you want to resolve your name, instead of IP address, you want to keep your name, click on that IP, edit resolve name, you can give your own name. So wherever your name is there, it will replace with, wherever your IP is there, it will replace with the name of the IP address. Okay, so this is how you'll be able to resolve the names. For example, if there is any server, for example, it's a UDP. So I'm using, so most of my UDP packets will be WebEx. So Zoom or WebEx, we can just write web. So we are using WebEx. So WebEx and then click on enter. So wherever that IP is there, it will replace with the WebEx server's IP. So this is how you'll be able to resolve the IP addresses or resolve the port numbers or a protocol. Okay. So this was a quick. So any doubt? Go to view, name resolution. You have to check mark all this thing. Yeah, transport, network, and physical. Physical will resolve the what do you call the MAC addresses. So you can see Reliance and all this. So it resolves the MAC addresses of the MAC addresses, like physical layer. So view, name resolution, and then click on all this, check mark all this. If you're not able to do this, go to edit, preferences, under name resolution, you have to check mark this. So this will help you to resolve the names. So any doubt in resolving the names? Any of you? Can I just get a yes message if you are clear with this resolving names? So Madhura, Adarsh, Adrika, Pratik, Darshit, Hemant, Sadhana, Ramesh has sent a yes message. Great. So, okay, let's quickly go to the next topic, which is finding the credentials. So I hope this topic will be very interesting for you. So let me go to Vashak. Start the capture. And start the Vashak capture. Okay, so let me go and visit a HTTP page. A simple HTTP page. Yeah, so this is a page which got a little information. Let me go to another page of another HTTP page. Yeah, so can you see this is a Columbia web page, EDU web page, which has an image and which has some content of the web page. Okay, just hold on a second. So this page has the content, it got an image and little content of the web page. Okay, now we got the same thing in Wireshark Capture when I was accessing this web page. And let me access a web page which has a PDF file also, or any file. Sample PDF file. Sorry, PDF. I got this file which has a PDF file, another file also. I'll just, oh sorry, this is like converting. Yeah, this file which has a PDF file. Okay, this web page I have accessed. So I got all this in my capture. Let me stop the packet capture. Okay, so now let me first see the content of the web page. So this is content of the web page. Web page I have accessed, not secured page, Columbia for this one. Yeah, this content of the web page, we'll just try to see it in Wireshark. So let me filter with HTTP packets. So I got the packets over here. Let me scroll down and see these are the different packets I got. Okay, so let me first see. This is a request for this web page and the respond is in the next packet. Let me open this. I got, can you see there's something called info.cern.ch. So this web page also I visited. Can you see here? info.cern.ch, World Wide Web. You can see this is the content of the web page. What is out there, help, software products and all this. So let me go to, can you see here? Browse the first web page. Learn about the, okay, let me see which packet, sorry, this is a web page which I have accessed. Okay. So info, home of the first web page. From here, you can browse the first website. Browse the first website using line mode browser simulator. Can I see all this content in the this Wireshark window? Browse the first website using the in a line mode browser simulator. All this browse the first website. So this is a content of the web page. Yeah. So this web page content I was able to see. Yeah. Now, next, let me go to this sample.http page, which has sample web page. You can see sample web page, and World Wide Web, W3, and all this is a content. World Wide Web, somewhere it will be down. So title was that one. So this is the web page of all that. Columbia EDU, href. Yeah. So all these were the content of the web page. So now Columbia's web page should be somewhere here, right? So this is like, this is updated in 2019-21. Somewhere it is there, 2019-21. So you can save the content of the web page also. How to save that is, when I got this inline, right? So right click on this, export packet bytes. In this itself, you can save http page dot html. So this is a HTML file. I'm just saving it in this file. Can you see here? This is a file which I've saved. Double click on this. Can you see here? This is a thing which we have extracted using the headers. So this is the content of the web page. Do it yourself. The image. So the image is actually missing. How to get the, can you see here, sample image is missing. So this sample image, how can we get is the content of the web page, we got it. Now the image file is missing. So for the image file, what we can read is image.jfif. It will show which packet has the image file. So this is a filter. I'm gonna copy and send it in the chat so that you remember this filter. Okay. So this filter we have to give, it will tell how many image file are there in this PCAP file. So this packet has the image file. You can see it's a reassembled PDU packets, reassembled TCP segment packets. So this header has the image file. So which is a reassembled packet. Okay. So how to extract this file is, image file is, click on this header, right click, export packet bytes. Now give a file name. So image file dot pcapng. Image file dot pcapng. So I've saved this file somewhere here. Image file dot pcapng. In which folder did I save? sorry, let me save it once again. Right click, export packet bytes in SkySec itself. Sorry. So image file dot JPEG. So that I'll be able to view this file in JPEG format. Can you see here JPEG? So JPEG format. So open. So it is the same image which I tried to access it in a web page, not secure. So this is a web page, right? Not secured web page. So it's a HTTP web page. Now comes the PDF file. So the filter for the PDF file is, this is for image. So HTTP space contains space dot PDF. So this will filter with how many packets has dot PDF as an extension. How many packets application layer has dot PDF. So request layer, request packet, get request packet for the web page. And this is a response packet, which is again the reassembled TCP segment packets. So this is a media type header, which has the actual content of the web page. So right click, export packet bytes. So give a file name. See, so sample PDF file dot PDF. So extension should be the same as a file name. If it is a PDF file, give .pdf. It's a JPEG file, give .jpeg. If it is a zip file, give .zip. If it's a exe file, give .exe. So same way, I'm extracting this PDF file. Yeah. So this is a request and this is a response from the server, which is a reassembled packet. And in this packet, I got the complete, what you call the complete PDF file. So I have extracted in this particular folder. You can see sample PDF file .pdf. So open. So I've saved it in this path, right? So this is the same file which I have accessed in the web page. Can we just cross check once? So let me see where I have accessed this web page. Not here. Is it here? No, it's not here. So sample PDF is right here. Can you see? Not secure. This is a web link which I have opened. Yeah. This is HTTP page which has the .pdf file. So and this file I have extracted it using the header. So you guys are clear? Can I get a quick yes message if you have got this point? How to extract the files or how to like view the web page using Akshay is telling yes. Adarsh, Chinmay, Adrika, Sahadevan, Madhura, yes. So cool. Karthik also is telling got this. Darshit also, Sadhana also. Great. So let's go to the next topic quickly because we have very less time now. So which is how to see the credentials. So credentials will be really interesting. So I hope you guys will enjoy. So let me start the Varsha capture quickly and close this filter. And then let me access a web page. Login. Okay, I'm just accessing a web page which has a login. So yeah, this is not secured web page, and I can give my username and I can give the password as SkySec login. Okay, my request has gone to the server now. I've given username as Sumita and password as SkySec. Okay, now I got a Wireshark capture. Let me stop the capture. Yeah, I've stopped the Wireshark capture now. So how to find the password or credentials in the capture file, and it should be a shortcut. We don't want to see individual packet and go to its header. So there should be some shortcut, right? Get request means the request which has gone to the server. Post request means that we are sending some data to the server. So let me put a filter with post request. http.request.method equals to post capital. Okay, so this is case sensitive. So let me share it in the chat. Okay, so anybody who is doing right now or later can use this filter to get the passwords. Enter. So in this packet, we have sent some data to the server. Can you see here? Application URL encoded. Yeah. So in this packet, we got some data which we have sent to the server. So right now we have captured only packets for a little while, and we have given some credentials in that HTTP packet. So let me expand this header, and I should be able to see the username and password which I have given it in this particular web page. Surprise. So let me expand. Can you see here? Username, password, which I have given right now. Is it easy? Is it easy to see username and password? Just put this filter. http.request.method equals to post, got the packet which has the username and password. In this case, we got only one packet. In a huge file, it might be a few more set of packets where we have to go and see the header. Or if you have a IP address of that server, you can put this filter and then give IND ip.addr equals to give the IP address. So then you'll be able to narrow down the packets. So Sahadevan and Madhura has sent yes. So for others also, I hope it is easy for you when you start doing the lab. Okay. So this filter, I have already sent it in the chat. So you guys, I'm sending it again. So I want you to copy this filter. It's a case sensitive filter. Okay. Now we'll go to the last topic, which is SSL decryption. It is little quite tricky, but I'll make it a little simple for you guys. Okay. So guys who are doing it right now can listen to me very carefully, and who are doing it later on can watch the video again and again, and you can do it. Okay. Let me close Wireshark first. So now, first of all, we are doing SSL decryption. For that, what we have to get is we have to get the keys. Yeah. So now, how to get the keys means Windows will help us with one shortcut, which is SSL keylogs. So how to get this file which has a keys is, can you see here? This is a file which has a key. Yeah, this file I've already created. So now let me create a new file. Okay, so I'll be replicating things, but I'll not be doing. Okay, so how to create a file? Log file means right click on new doc file, text file, SSL keylog file dot log. So you have to create one file with .log extension. It'll ask to change the file with the extension. So click on yes. So once you click on yes, the file should be of .log type. Okay. So it should be of .log. If it is not .log, then what you have to do is click on view, click on this file name extension, then you'll be able to edit this file. Again, it will come as .txt. You have to just edit this, and you have to give the file name as .log. Okay. So when you click on the file, click on properties. So it should be of .log. Okay. Now, so once you create this file, what you have to do is go to environmental variable, and then you have to create one environmental variable called SSL keylog file. Yeah, this is a variable name. So it's a case sensitive, so it should all be in caps. So I'm sending it in the chat, and then down under value, what you have to do is you have to browse for that file which you have just created, SSL keylog file. And then click on OK. Yeah. So once you browse this file, it will be right here. And then click on OK. And then you have to click on OK. And then we have to click on OK. Yeah. This file I'll be deleting. So this file will be getting it. Okay. So now when you go to environmental variable, so under user variable, you'll be getting one variable called SSL keylog file and the path of this file. Yeah. So now what you have to do is you have to close all the windows which are open. Not all the windows, all the browsers which are open. So close all the browsers which are open and then open any browser and access a HTTPS web pages. Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or any browser you can just access. Once you access a web page, HTTPS web page, when you open this file, all the log files, all the SSL logs will come and reside in this file. Yeah. Simple way of getting the SSL keys. Okay, so this file will be created now. Now, when you open Wireshark and let me access one well-known HTTPS web page. Okay, let me first remove the keys, okay, which I have already added before this. So I have not added the keys. Okay, great. So now let me start the capture. Yeah, I will access one well-known web page, which is IRCTC web page. I hope you guys do remember this web page, which will help us to do booking. No, I don't want the notification. Login. So Smita, I'll be giving Isaac as a password 4C IGR. The captcha should be correct because the request has to go to the server. Okay, then click on login. Then it should come as bad credentials. If it is coming as captcha wrong, then you have to give a correct captcha. Okay, if it is coming as a bad credentials, then it means whatever the username and password you have sent is wrong. It's okay. The request at least has to go reach the server. That is our main motto, so that we can just get the username and the password which has gone to the server. Okay, so captcha I have given it correctly. So I got the capture. Click on stop. So now I got the SSL capture. Yeah, which is all encrypted. Yeah, all encrypted packet. Let me filter with HTTP packets. If so, only this 4 packets which I got are the HTTP packets. Let me open application one media file I've got. Okay, I can just ignore this. Okay. Okay. Now let me add those packets. Let me add the SSL keys. Sorry. So how to add the SSL keys is go to edit, preferences, under protocol, you just type SSL. So if there is no SSL, then you have to go to TLS. So Wireshark 3.3 less than 3 version got SSL. Wireshark 3 plus version got TLS. Okay. So browse and select the file which has the keys. So users, US training, and select the file SSL keylog file, which has keys. Okay. Then what you have to do is click on, okay, that's it. The keys gets transferred to the Wireshark. So it is taking little time to load because I have created the file long ago. You can see properties. I created this file like 12 Jan 2021. So it's a huge file. So it's taking little time to load it in Wireshark. You can see it's loading right now. So once you load the what do you call, the SSL keys in Wireshark, it will take a little while, not so long also, because so when you'll be creating the file, it will be like a minute before. So the keys will be very less in number. So the keys which I have created is little more. I mean, like you can see, it's 283 MB file. So to load 283 MB file in Wireshark will take a little time, of course. So it is taking so much of time. So once this file get loaded in Wireshark, then like whatever the packets are encrypted, right? Or whatever the credential have sent it over the network, I'll be able to see it in Wireshark. So many well-known web pages. So I cannot name, but at least this one web page I have shown you. But many web pages you can try. Even the banking web pages, I can tell. Even the banking web pages, the credentials I was able to see. So it's taking a little while. So okay. Meanwhile, like okay, this is the last what do you call, topic for today. So until it get loaded, can we have a short QA section? So let it get loaded. So until that, we'll have little QA or little chat. So okay, I just saw one question earlier. So where can we download 2.2.7 version of Wireshark? So let me send you the link for that, okay? Where you can download this 2.2.7 version. So I have sent it in the chat where you can download 2.2.7 version of Wireshark. Okay, any other questions you have, participants? Okay, so this is the last topic. So until the keys get loaded to Wireshark, I want you guys to just post the questions so that like after loading or before loading also, if we have time, we can just have a small chat. Anybody, any questions? So you guys are clear with the concept then? Can I get, okay, how was the session, by the way? Like, can I just get a small message, like how was the session? Whether it was interesting, boring, informative, or was too much of practical, or I was too fast, too slow. Sahadevan and Adrika are telling it's informative. Thank you so much. So any questions? Abbas, you there? Akshay and others are telling it's interesting and informative. Ramesh, Madhura are telling very good and superb. It was informative, ma'am. Rajeshwari, Chinmay are also telling. Okay, Abbas has sent a form. I guess it's a feedback form. You guys can fill this form. Naina is also telling it's very good. Chinmay also is telling it's very good. Rajeshwari also is telling it was an informative session. So okay, just hold on a second. Like the keys got loaded into Asha. Just a minute, okay? So I guess my screen is visible, right? Can I just get a quick yes message from all of you? Or just one or two? Okay, my screen is visible then. So now the keys got loaded into Wireshark, and let me filter with http.request.method packet. So for HTTP packets also, we have put the same filter. Yes, right? So same way for HTTP, yes, also, we are putting a same filter because we have added the keys, whatever the keys which were encrypted, right? It'll be decrypted. So we can put a same filter. All HTTPS packets will be converted to the HTTPS will be converted to HTTP packets. So we are putting the same filter again. So clicking on enter. So we got one credential Yeah. So this web token application URL encoded. So expanding it, can you see? So Nashati, size click, and this was the captcha I had given. You remember? So this is how you'll be able to get the HTTPS packets also. So how to generate the keys, I have told you. Create this log file, go to environmental variable, create this variable name and give a path to that log file, and then close all the browsers, and then open browser and access few HTTPS web pages. Once you access the HTTPS web pages, you'll get the keys. Once you get the keys, add it in Wireshark, edit, preferences, under protocol, SSL. If it is a Wireshark older version, go to SSL, pre-master secret log file, and click on browse and select the file which has a log file where you had created in users QoS training folder. That file you have to browse here. If it is a Wireshark older version, like 2 version, then you have to go to SSL. If it is a newer version like Wireshark 3 plus version, then you have to go for TLS protocol. Okay, then click on OK. The keys will be added to Wireshark. Put this filter and you'll get the password over here. Yeah. So it was pretty simple. Pretty simple how to get the credentials, or pretty simple how to get the SSL keys, right? I hope you guys understood what I have taught so far. And if you guys have any doubt, you can send me a mail, mita@qostechnology.in. So this is my mail ID. If you have any what do you call doubt, you can send me a message. You can send me a mail over this email ID. Okay, so we'll just take a short QA section. So okay, so there was this one message from Karthik. Is it possible to get credentials of other of connected to the same network of other people? So okay, so I want, like, let me see if my understanding is correct. So if you're telling in the same network, if people are trying to put a credentials, can I get that credentials, right, Karthik? Okay, so okay, if we are capturing the packets on your host machine, then the packets will be captured with respect to your machine. Okay, but when you are capturing the packet with respect to the network layer, for example, if you are capturing the packets on the router or a firewall, then you'll be able to get packets from all the people in connected to the same network. If you're capturing on the host machine, it will be restricted to your own PC. But if you are capturing the packets on the complete network, you have to capture the packets on the network layer, like network layer in the sense like the center point or the area from where the packet is flowing from one endpoint. For example, your default gateway or your router or a firewall. So there we have to capture the packets so that we get the packets from all the what do you call users in the network. Got it, Karthik? Okay, okay. Okay. So we okay. What else? Any other questions, guys? How to overcome overcome means? What do you mean by this? Means you don't want your credential to be seen by other system? Okay, so capturing the packets over the network. So that's the obvious. Like when we are trying to access any HTTP web page, or you are trying to access any what do you call the banking web pages, or you're adding some of your credential, it's better not to use a public network. Okay, so that's the only way you can prevent people accessing your like or accessing your credentials, or viewing your packets. It's better to always have a protected network where you're trying to add your credentials, or trying to add your banking details. Okay. Sahadevan is asking, do you mean we need to access all the SSL file from every host for this? Yes, we do need the file for. Okay. So I want you guys to use it for a knowledge purpose, no, of ethically, okay, not for unethical. So when we are creating this SSL keylog file, right? So I was given a permission to create the file, SSL keylog file, but unethically also you can do it by using by taking a command and control to the other machine, and then you'll be able to create the SSL keylog file. The other person will not even be aware of it. That way you can do. And we should have the keys for this SSL decryption. Okay, Aruna is telling which tool is better, a Bubsuit or Wireshark. So I hope Wireshark is better than Bubsuit. So, okay, Abbas is sharing a link, a YouTube link where we can get the recorded session. So earlier, last week also we had one session, part 1, where we had a recording, and we have uploaded the recorded session also. And this recording also, Abbas will be uploading it soon. So you can just go visit this link and watch the video again. If you have any doubt, you can get back to me anytime. So I've sent my mail address over a chat. So anytime, if you have any doubt with respect to Wireshark, so I'll be always there. So, and okay, there's one more thing which I can tell you. Like, if you want to take a course, for example, if you want to take a Wireshark basics and advanced course, I am a full-time trainer, but I do take Wireshark trainings, internal and external trainings, and we do have a batches. So if you want to have more experience than me, I can tell, because there are more senior people like. So they'll help you to learn the cybersecurity course in a very well structured way. So that's it. That's it from my end, I can tell. So Abbas, okay, you there?
Thank you, Smita. It was a wonderful session. I
Thank
think
you.
out of 43 webinars which we have done, this session
Sorry,
has.
Abbas, can you be a little louder?
Is my voice audible now?
Yeah. Now you're loud and clear. Yeah.
Today is the 43rd webinar since
Yeah.
last March 2020. I have
Okay.
seen consistently that now it is 6:49. Right. And I think I'll make myself the presenter.
Sorry.
There is an assessment, right? I just want to share it.
Yeah. We do have assessment also. Yeah.
Request all the participants. I think you know this webinar page from where you have registered it. Okay, kindly go to the webinar page. Here you can see the assessment link will be active. Here you can see in the yellow,